Humbled to be here on episode 31 of JPJ Health and Wellness. So I just got done training for the day. I went on my usual run. So a half of a quarter of a mile walking, and a half of a quarter mile jogging for 2 laps. So half a mile walking, a quarter of a mile walking, a quarter of a mile running, and I took care of training on my schedule for the day. Safe to say, there's something on my personal schedule in my personal life, nothing professionally related, that I have to attend to this evening. And I'm going to feel as sharp and as good doing it. Not because I've trained, but I'm sure in some way there's been benefits to me training for the day, doing cardio. And today kind of, I saved this segment and this thought for this show in particular. Something about me that I've thought through today, that resurfaced in my train of thoughts, is that in 2015, late 2015, early 2016, I suffered a back injury where I believe this is how it felt, right? The right side of my body, my hip, my mid back, and my upper back, and my what I've come to learn is your orbital joints in the back of your neck that are associated with your hand-eye coordination and your eyes, right? The coordination of your eyes, because I feel it as well, right? I've just done some studying post-injury happened, right? I soon come to learn shortly after that I believe it was an SI joint misalignment. So 3 things come to mind based on that injury. Safe to say that for years, I believe for about until recently actually, but I know 3 to 4 years consistently on the forefront of my mind. I thought this was it. This was the end all be all of my health journey. I plateaued, I struck an injury, and it was only downhill from here. But it's for the sake of my mental excuse me, the physical ailment and suffering only brought me more so this last 3 to 4 years, 2 years and 1 year indefinitely of consciously sorting through my pains and my sufferings and my troubles and my trials and tribulations, brought my spiritual wellness and my mental wellness closer to sync, unison, and God, right? One, where it needs to be, because of this injury, cause and effect, and the effect was much greater than what had struck me. I've come to realize, and am now, sorting through the subconscious, angst and depression, getting over that hump. Now I'm at a point consciously where I realize, I've come to a place of enlightenment, right? And that's where I stand, and that's where I stay. And 3 things come from this physical injury, right? Besides the consciousness and the enlightenment I've come to understand is I'm going to recover and align my back through sheer training and sheer will, I'm going to align my back through professional help, such as a chiropractor, or I don't believe, but it's possible, physical therapy. I think that ship has sailed for me personally, uh, because the reason I mentioned the chiropractor realigning my back and my spine is because at one point, shortly after, and this is another story within itself, but I'll quickly tell it. To make a long story short, after that injury had occurred, instantaneously, I took care of it within 3 to 4 weeks. I went to my doctor. He knew chiropractic methods. He did an adjustment on me, and my back realigned, along with my orbital structure in the back of my neck, my upper back, my mid back, and my hips, right? My lower back. I'm sure the SI joint was associated with that. But I went back to the gym that same day out of angst, out of fear of being afraid of losing it again. And I did the same exercise that I injured my back to begin with. And it brought me back to the same misalignment. So, I went from aligned to my right side feeling like this, a little indifference and balance, to going back to being aligned, to suffering from the same suffering and deficiency, because I did the same movement that got me to this same point to begin with, and this is where I currently am up to this point, right? I injured my back through not stretching, which was a complete mistake and misstep on my end. But I'm human, and I felt that day an angst and very, very out of character to not stretch, because I believe, for most people that is a weakness, flexibility and agility. But to me, I've trained that so much up to that point where it became a strength. And to have a misstep only humbled me to the point where I realized that I'm human and it can happen to anybody. Crucial mistake that I didn't stretch that day. And I performed deadlift and pulled my back muscle, lower back, I'm sure along with some nerves that were tied into my lower back. But like I said, I realigned it and did an upper shoulder press with too heavy of weights. And this side, my lower back, I'm sure wasn't strengthened to the point where it can handle that weight, because I just realigned my back and I hadn't taken the time to recover and let my muscles and my nerves recoup from that injury. So I did an overhead press with too heavy of weights. I'm sure mentally it took a toll, but physically it definitely took a toll and brought me back to that same injury. And that's a story I chose and felt like I had a need to share with you guys today. Which is why I believe that chiropractic help would possibly be a way my back becomes realigned in the future. Or the third and final option is that it never ever gets back to that same alignment that I once had. But I have hope, in God that it will. But I am also a realist and understand the truth of the matter is that it may never come back or get back to that point of alignment again in my lifetime. And I'm completely content with that happening, right? And that's what I believe all I need to share today with you guys on this episode after training today and having an important, hopefully fun and fulfilling and exhilarating event, personal event to attend to tonight, a social function. And I'm looking forward to catching up with you guys next episode. It's episode 31 of JPJ Health and Wellness. And I'll catch y'all later.